You do not need more time. You do not need to wait another year, another season, another lesson, another sign. You do not need more money, more degrees, or more effort. What you need, what you have always needed, is a word, a single, aligned, spiritually charged sentence, spoken with divine conviction. One sentence that does not beg or explain or hope, but commands. One sentence that rewires the vibration of your entire life and calls forth what was already prepared for you in the invisible. One sentence that shifts your inner world so completely that the outer must bow in 24 hours. The world will tell you change takes time, that you must crawl toward healing, that progress is measured in years. But I tell you by spiritual law, transformation is not on a calendar. It is on a word. The moment you speak with faith, the moment you declare your divine identity, the moment you cancel the old rhythm and replace it with truth, law moves. Spirit begins rearranging. The demonstration starts, not in a week, not in a year, but now. And what has tarried will appear, because the word has gone forth, and it shall not return void. The opening of creation was not a plan. It was not a process. It was not a strategy. It was a sentence. Let there be light, and there was light. No debate, no delay, no discussion, just a holy sentence, charged with creative power, spoken into the void. And that same law is yours. That same breath has been given to you. That same authority waits on your command. You were never meant to wander. You were meant to speak. You have tried everything else. You've journaled. You've waited. You've worked. You've worried. But you have not yet spoken this one sentence. The sentence that cancels delay. The sentence that breaks the spell. The sentence that reroutes time, reclaims direction, and returns you to the rhythm of God's perfect plan. And I say to you with sacred urgency, until you speak the word, nothing moves. But once you do, everything shifts, not in concept, but in form, not in theory, but in substance. Spirit is not moved by emotion. Spirit is not moved by longing. Spirit is moved by truth, declared with faith, spoken with boldness, released without fear. So stay close, because before this message ends, you will have that sentence. You will know how to speak it, when to speak it, and what to expect when you do. This is not a suggestion. This is not a philosophy. This is law. And when the law is activated by your word, your life begins again, within 24 hours. Let us begin. Most people do not live lives. They live loops, spirals of waiting, patterns of delay. They walk the same circle of lack and call it reality. They touch the edge of breakthrough, only to fall back into fear, not because they are weak, not because they are cursed, but because they have never been taught to speak. They react, they wish, they analyze, but they do not decree. And without a decree, the law remains inactive. Without the word, the demonstration remains unborn. Without a sentence, your good stays sealed in the invisible. I have seen lives frozen in time, not by external enemies, but by internal silence, not by lack of opportunity, but by lack of spiritual command. These are people with vision, with ideas, with heart, but no rhythm in their word, no command in their mouth, no sacred sentence upon which the law can operate. So they drift, they repeat, they become spiritual bystanders in a world that was meant to be spoken into shape. Let me be clear. Spirit will never override your silence. God will never impose order where your word has not invited it. The law is perfect, but it is not forceful. It waits on your participation. It waits on your vibration. It waits on your voice. Until then, your reality defaults to the patterns of fear, culture, memory, and inherited limitation. Not because that is truth, but because that is the only rhythm available. Imagine a ship out at sea, engine running, sails raised, but no direction given, no port declared, no coordinates set. That ship is not broken. It is simply leaderless. And most lives are lived exactly like this, drifting, not by accident, but by absence of speech. You are not meant to drift. You are meant to direct. You are not meant to guess. You are meant to govern. But to govern, you must speak. You must say aloud, daily, faithfully, rhythmically, the words that tell the universe where to go. You must give spirit something to work with, a blueprint, a command, a sentence that slices through confusion and establishes truth. Until you speak with authority, your life cannot rise in power. Until you declare the law, your timeline cannot reorder. Until you give voice to divine instruction, heaven cannot deliver what is already yours. You are not waiting on spirit. Spirit is waiting on you. So I ask you, what have you spoken today? What sentence has governed your last 24 hours? Have you declared your direction, or have you merely described your delays? Have you prophesied, or have you complained? Have you activated law, or have you surrendered to appearance? If you are stuck, the answer is not more trying. The answer is not more thinking. The answer is a sentence, and once spoken, the drift ends. The turnaround begins. And the law, which never fails, begins its holy work. Every delay, every derailment, every so-called detour has one thing in common: it was never greater than the law. The law is not concerned with how far you've gone in the wrong direction. It is only concerned with the moment you speak the right word. Because the law of the turnaround does not operate on logic. It operates on alignment. The very second you align your vibration with divine truth, the turnaround begins. The law doesn't require explanation. It doesn't ask how long you've been stuck. It responds instantly to the command of faith. There are those who believe change must be gradual, that transformation must follow a long path of repentance or restitution. But spiritual law does not need time. It needs permission, and permission is given through the word. The moment you say, "I am now aligned with divine good," the law does not hesitate. It moves, it corrects, it reroutes. It makes all things new, not someday, but now. Let me tell you a true story. A woman came to me in despair. Her finances were gone, her relationships in ruins. She said, "I've tried everything." But I told her she had not yet spoken everything. I gave her one sentence, a sentence anchored in law, a sentence spoken not in panic but in rhythm. She spoke it aloud, 3 times in the morning, 3 at night. She did not beg, she did not explain. She declared. And within 24 hours, she received a phone call that reversed her situation entirely. A debt was forgiven, a check released, a new opportunity delivered. And she asked, how could it happen so fast? Because the law does not move by speed. It moves by alignment. The moment she aligned with truth, without fear, without doubt, without contradiction, the law of the turnaround activated, not because she earned it, not because she fixed everything, but because she finally spoke the language of heaven. This law is ancient, it is spiritual, it is biblical, and it is available to you now. In Isaiah 30:21 it is written, "And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it." That word is not just from heaven, it must also come from your own mouth. You must say, "This is the way," and begin walking by the sound of your own divine command. So hear me clearly. Your turnaround is one sentence away. Not because the sentence is magical, but because it carries the vibration of truth. It activates law. It ends confusion. It realigns your life with what was already written. The law of the turnaround does not delay. It does not need process. It needs a word. And once the word is spoken, what once took years now takes hours. Because the moment your vibration shifts, everything else must obey. Now I give you the sentence. This is not poetry. This is not positive thinking. This is not a motivational phrase. This is spiritual technology, a divine key. When spoken in faith, without apology, it overrides fear, cancels delay, breaks the rhythm of resistance, and activates your demonstration within 24 hours. The sentence is short, but the law it activates is eternal. Say it slowly. Say it with reverence. Say it aloud. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Again. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. This sentence carries 3 laws in one breath. First, the law of assumption. I now step into. You are no longer hoping, trying, chasing, waiting. You are stepping into. You are moving in faith. You are entering what already exists. Heaven responds to movement, not hesitation. Second, the law of divine timing. The life that has already been prepared for me. This is not a life you build. This is a life that has already been constructed in the Spirit. Every desire, every vision, every divine idea was placed in your heart because it already exists in the invisible. You are not creating it, you are claiming it. Third, the law of accelerated demonstration. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. You are not demanding. You are not controlling. You are commanding in rhythm with divine order. 24 hours is not a test. It is an affirmation that law is instantaneous when fully aligned. The visible may shift immediately or begin its movement the moment you speak, but the spiritual turnaround is always now. Let me give you its scriptural root. Isaiah 65:24. Before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. This means heaven does not wait to respond. It responds in advance to the vibration of aligned speech. Before you even finish the sentence, Spirit has already begun. And when you speak this sentence, speak it not from fear, not from pressure, but from authority. Speak it not as a question, but as law, because it is law, a law that never fails, a law that governs supply, direction, healing, success, a law that cannot delay when spoken by one who knows they are backed by divine right. Say it again, boldly, with power. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. This is your sentence. It is your key. And once spoken in faith, the gate swings open. Because the law, once activated, moves faster than thought and deeper than fear, and it will not return void. Here it is. The sentence most people never speak. The sentence most souls hunger for but never dare to declare. The sentence that cuts through confusion, erases wasted years, silences fear, and overrides every false rhythm you've inherited from the world. It is not complicated. It is not hidden. It is not reserved for the spiritual elite. It is a key, and I now place it in your hands. But you must use it. You must speak it. Not softly, not questioningly, but with command, conviction, and rhythm. Here is the sentence. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Say it aloud. Let the syllables pass your lips like lightning. Let the vibration move through your body. Let heaven hear you with clarity. Again. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Why does this sentence work? Because it speaks to 3 laws in one rhythm. The first is the law of assumption. You are no longer waiting, wishing, or wandering. You are stepping in. You do not ask if it is possible. You step in as though it already is, because in spirit it is. In the invisible, the door is already open. The life already exists. It is not coming. It is waiting. And when you step, it rushes forward to meet you. The second law is the law of divine timing. The life that has already been prepared for me. It is not being built. It is done, complete, finished. The moment you desired it, heaven designed it. The vision was not random, it was recognition. You saw what was already yours, and now you speak it into form. God does not make you guess. He prepares and positions, and your word gives you access. And the third law, the one that shakes the illusion of delay, is the law of accelerated demonstration. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Not because you're rushing, not because you're demanding, but because law does not need time. It needs alignment. And 24 hours is not a test of God. It is a test of your willingness to speak as one who knows. Your world can rewire in an hour, in a breath, in a blink, when the word is true. Scripture confirms it. Isaiah 65:24. Before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. Before the sentence is finished, heaven has heard it. Spirit does not lag. Law does not stall. Law acts the moment your vibration aligns with its design. So say it now. Say it with power. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. You are not hoping. You are not begging. You are commanding. This is not a fantasy. It is your divine right. Spirit has waited for this moment. The unseen has waited for your word. Now speak it, often, faithfully, rhythmically, and prepare to see a rearrangement so swift it will humble your mind and glorify your God. Because once the sentence is spoken, the law begins. A sentence is not a spell. It is not something you whisper one time and hope the universe hears you. It is a command, and a command must be given with rhythm, with reverence, and with repetition. You are not casting wishes into the air. You are constructing reality with the substance of sound. You must speak the sentence as one who rules, not one who pleads, as one who knows, not one who doubts. Your tone matters. Your posture matters. Your expectation matters, because spirit responds not to words alone, but to the vibration behind them. When should you speak it? Speak it first thing in the morning, before the world can argue with your truth. Speak it again at midday, when momentum threatens to fade. Speak it once more before sleep, when the veil between seen and unseen thins. And speak it in moments of action. Before you send the message, make the decision, step into the room. Let it be your spiritual password, your energetic permission slip, your internal ignition. Let every act of your day be preceded by the decree. And how should you say it? Not fast, not flat. Say it with rhythm, with breath, with pause, with power. Imagine you are standing before the gates of your own kingdom, and your voice is the key. Imagine your future is already standing behind the curtain, waiting on a single word to be summoned. Then speak. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Let every syllable carry command. Let no part of you contradict it. Do not rush it. Do not analyze it. Speak it as law. Say it until it imprints your cells, until your nervous system no longer reacts to appearances, but to truth. Say it until the voice of doubt dissolves. Say it until your environment changes. Because it will. It must. The law cannot return void. And what must you not do? Do not speak it once, and then speak fear the rest of the day. Do not declare it in the morning and cancel it with complaint by noon. Do not plant this seed and then dig it up with worry. Guard your mouth like a temple. Let nothing come from your lips that weakens your word. Remember, the sentence is not magic. It is law. It works not because you are worthy, but because it is aligned. It works not because you try hard, but because you speak truth. And truth, when spoken boldly, reorders everything in your favor. So speak it again, now. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. This is how you move mountains. This is how you shift timelines. This is how you become the governor of your own demonstration. Not through hoping, not through waiting, but through the bold, faithful rhythm of your word. And the moment you speak like this consistently, the universe responds. Not in confusion, but in perfect, ordered manifestation. Many ask, is it really possible? Can one sentence change my life in 24 hours? And I answer with holy certainty, yes, if it is spoken in the vibration of divine law. Because spiritual transformation is not gradual, it is not a slow burn. It is instantaneous in the unseen and visible in the seen as fast as your belief will permit it. There is no time in spirit. What you think takes months in matter takes only moments in truth. The speed is not about the sentence. It is about the certainty. Let me explain what I call the spiritual physics of manifestation. Spirit is substance, word is vibration, and vibration is the pattern that matter must obey. When you speak from spiritual alignment, your words send a command into the invisible, a pattern that pulls every particle of reality into new form. This is not mysticism, it is law. Law is perfect. Law is exact. Law is obedient. Jesus spoke in Matthew 8:13, "As thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee." And his servant was healed in the same hour. Not tomorrow, not next week, the same hour. Why? Because the belief matched the word and the word activated law. This is what most miss. They speak the right phrase but in the wrong rhythm. They mouth the truth but think in fear. They repeat words without embodiment. But the moment you truly believe and speak as one who governs, the healing comes. The supply appears. The shift begins. You do not need 40 days. You do not need more suffering. You do not need to beg God to do what has already been done. You need only to speak as one who already possesses. Because you do. What you seek is not far off. It is here, hovering, surrounding you in the invisible, waiting to take form the moment you give it structure through your sentence. Think of your words as architectural blueprints. Your sentence is the design. Spirit is the builder. The moment the design is clear and aligned, the building begins. And I tell you this, God builds fast. There is no backlog in heaven, no delay in divine supply. The only delay is your own hesitation to speak. And why 24 hours? Not as a deadline, not as a test, but as a sacred rhythm of expectation. One full cycle of surrender. One rotation of the sun to practice unwavering command. One container in which your word must live, breathe, and grow. If you can hold your declaration for 24 hours without contradicting it, doubting it, or weakening it, you will see the first evidence of change. A shift in the air, a sign in your inbox, a message, a release, a movement, because the law responds instantly to spiritual integrity. Say this now. Time does not delay me. Spirit does not stall. What I speak in truth appears in form within 24 hours by divine law. And so it is. Your mind is not your master, it is your servant. And yet, for most people, the servant has become the king. Thoughts of fear, regret, and repetition run wild because the mind has never been trained by the word. But today, the pattern breaks. Today, you begin to reprogram the rhythm of your entire mental atmosphere with a single sentence spoken with divine authority. You do not need to wrestle with every thought. You do not need to fix every memory. You need only to plant one new seed so strong, so rhythmic, so filled with spiritual voltage that it overrides everything that came before it. That seed is this sentence. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. The moment this becomes your mental baseline, your subconscious must shift. Your nervous system must obey. Your energy must match. This sentence does not just declare what is coming, it replaces what was. It clears the fog of old timelines, cancels the emotional residue of delay, and tells your entire being, we no longer live in fear, We live in law. Now hear me. Most minds are trained by trauma, by culture, by logic, by memory. Yours must be trained by truth. And truth is not passive. It is spoken. It is repetitive. It is rhythmic. Speak the sentence as a mantra, as a melody, as a metronome. Every time an old thought rises, replace it. Every time fear flares, override it. Every time you feel behind, declare you've just arrived. The mind does not argue with conviction. It bows to rhythm. It bends to repetition. Here is how you reprogram. Before sleep, speak the sentence aloud. Let it be the last vibration your body hears. Upon waking, speak it again. Let it go ahead of you into the day. In moments of doubt, speak it slowly, 3 times, breathing with each word. Write it. Repeat it. Sing it if you must. But never let it die in silence. You are not merely convincing yourself. You are constructing a new mental track, a spiritual groove, and once it is deep enough, it becomes automatic. The old beliefs cannot survive in the presence of spoken law. The new sentence becomes your internal software, and once the system changes, your experience must follow. Say it now, not as a lesson, but as a reprogramming tool. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Do you feel the shift? That is not imagination. That is reality responding. Because the mind, once dominated by the word, becomes the womb of your demonstration. You are not your past thoughts. You are not your old programming. You are the speaker of truth, and today your inner world begins again. And so it is. The universe does not respond to your need, it responds to your word. Divine law does not act on confusion, it acts on clarity. Heaven does not move when you panic, it moves when you command. And the moment you speak your word as law, as settled, as unquestionable truth, the entire architecture of the unseen begins to shift. The particles rearrange, the doors unlock, the paths clear, because the voice of spiritual authority has been heard. Now hear me clearly. The command that makes the universe move is not loud, it is not desperate, it is aligned. It is the sound of someone who knows, not someone who begs, not someone who waits, not someone who wonders if it's too late, but someone who understands the covenant they walk in, the law that backs them, and the power of the sentence they speak. So I give you a sacred challenge, not for entertainment, not for curiosity, but for divine demonstration. For the next 3 days, yes, 3 days, speak this sentence 4 times daily. Once upon waking, once at midday, once before sunset, once at midnight. Each time, speak as a commander speaks to the sea. Speak as one who parts clouds with a breath. Speak as one who has nothing to prove, but everything to claim. Here is the sentence, and this time you will say it as law. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Do not change the wording. Do not add your fear to it. Do not ask how. The law does not require how. The law requires alignment. And what will happen? You will feel resistance rise. You will feel the mind question. But stay faithful to the rhythm. Because the moment you pass through the veil of doubt, a shift will begin. You will notice synchronicities. You will receive a message. You will sense peace. You will feel the weight of delay lift. And then, within 24 hours, a sign, a blessing, a movement will appear. Why? Because you spoke it, you commanded it, you anchored it, and law cannot return void. Say this now as your first command of the day. I command my life into divine order. I speak with authority. I expect the demonstration now. This is not about ego. This is not about magic. This is about spiritual maturity. You are not here to hope. You are here to govern. You are not here to suffer. You are here to speak. The universe does not favor the strong. It favors the speaker of aligned truth. So speak. Speak often, speak with fire, and know that each time you do, the invisible bends, the path unfolds, the supply moves, because you finally took your place as one who governs through the word. And so it is. Now we seal the word in rhythm. We do not reason, we do not analyze, we affirm. These declarations are not decorations. They are spiritual charges, lightning bolts sent into the unseen. Each one is a strike against delay. Each one is a vibration that rearranges your timeline. Do not whisper them, declare them. Let every syllable become law as it leaves your mouth. Speak these aloud with breath, with boldness, with rhythm. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. I am not late, I am aligned. My supply is present and rushing into form. The old is gone, the demonstration begins. Spirit moves at the speed of my faith. I am not waiting, I am receiving. I command with love, and law responds in power. Again, I step in. It is prepared. It appears now. You are not speaking to convince anyone. You are speaking to activate the blueprint. You are not asking for help. You are triggering law. These words are not tools. They are templates. Spoken into the atmosphere, they build the form that your demonstration will follow. Now speak this closing seal. Say it slowly. Say it 3 times. Say it with everything in you. I speak, I align, I receive. I speak, I align, I receive. I speak, I align, I receive. Let this rhythm be your reality. Let this sentence be your new foundation. And remember, each time you speak, something is sent, something is stirred, something is summoned. And so it is. Now that you have spoken, keep speaking. Now that you have remembered, stay in rhythm. You have not reached the end of a video. You have crossed into a new way of being. You have received a sentence, not just to recite, but to live by. And if you truly walk in it, if you speak it with dominion, you will begin to see signs, evidence, shifts, surprises, all within 24 hours, not because you forced them, but because you finally aligned. I invite you now, not to perform, not to prove, but to declare. Write the sentence in the comments, not for engagement, not for show, but as an act of spiritual activation. Let your sentence echo into the digital field, and let your comment become your contract with divine law. Type, I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Come back to it later. Witness the alignment. Witness the comments that shift your faith. Return tomorrow and testify. Your word is not just an idea. It is a spiritual agreement. Subscribe, not for more content, but to remain in the current. Let this channel be your reminder. Let this voice anchor you when you drift. Let this rhythm reset you when the world distracts you. You are not a seeker anymore. You are a speaker. You are a governor. You are one who walks by law. And now that you've spoken, watch what unfolds. Not by chance, not by effort, but by the unbreakable law that what you speak in faith must appear in form. It is done, and so it is.